Podcast Network Asia.
What's going on? This is Xavier Woods, aka Austin Creed.
I said, give me a hell yeah!
Hey, this is Zeta Zay.
Hello, WWE Universe in the Philippines. This is Charlotte.
Talent is not sexually transmitted.
You need to go back to the drawing board because your game absolutely sucks!
Hey everyone, this is Jeff Cobb.
I'm Lewis Howley. I'm Sam Spoker. We are pretty deadly. Yep, sport. Yep, sport.
Hello, my name is Ilya Dragunov, the star, the NXT UK champion, and you're listening to the Wrestling Podcast.
You're listening to the longest-running weekly episodic Filipino wrestling podcast. This is the Wrestling Podcast. Stan C, Romoran, and Chino Liao coming to you on a special audio-only episode. And for this week, we've got a guest who's been very much a part of the Philippine wrestling community. And in fact, meron na rin siyang ambag to the local scene in many ways. Some obvious, some not so obvious. We're very excited to talk to him and to share his story about how his hobby, his love of championship titles or championship belts, however you want to call it, has actually become a decent income stream. So dito sa Wrestling Podcast, very supportive tayo sa mga enterprising behavior. So please welcome to the show, Alvin Paul Saflor, the main man behind Figure 4 Championship. How's it going, Alvin?
Hello. Good evening. Thank you guys for inviting me dito sa Wrestling Podcast. I didn't expect na no mag-guest ako dito kasi I usually go browse watch your snippets of your podcast videos.
Yeah, ako kasi I think it was my idea to have Alvin on kasi the first time I've heard of you and the Figure 4 Championships was in the PWR show when they crowned the first FPW show when they crowned the first FPW champion, diba?
Yeah.
So nung pinakita nila yung belt, I was there in my seat thinking, okay, may belt sila. But I did not expect to see the belt and to have my jaw drop sa ganda niya. Sa laki ng improvement dun sa quality ng ating local championship belts. Not that the local championship belts of before were ugly, but if you saw
no, we can say they were. It's fine. We can say they were.
I was around the championship, so yeah, I can tell you for a fact.
I can tell you that they were.
They were. Okay.
Oh.
Sige. So, wrestlers naman yung nagsabi. So, ako kasi sobrang nagandahan ako sa bagong belt. It had shades of different WWE belts and sobrang it made me want to talk to you more to get behind your design process sa mga ganitong bagay. Especially since belt making, if anything, is a very new field here in the country, diba?
Yes.
Ako naman, sorry, real quick. I heard of Alvin, even though I was part of MWF, I don't go to the trainings. I don't visit anymore. Only when kailangan. And I only heard of Alvin's eyewitness documentary. So your story was featured there, which we'll get to later. And then it didn't click until the FPW thing. Na you were Figure 4 Championship, and you had been following me for years, I think.
Yeah.
Tapos ikaw pala yun. So that was pretty awesome. I didn't know that was you. And pretty much you flew under all our radar. So pretty awesome what you do. Nakita ko kasi before when you started following me. The craftsmanship that you put into yung mga belts and re-leathering the belts was pretty cool. And I didn't realize na Pinoy pala yun until recently lang.
Yeah, I guess that's where I wanted to start. Kasi as Chino already alluded to earlier, belt making for wrestling in the Philippines is very uncommon. So are you the only belt maker in the country?
As far as I know, hindi ako yung only belt maker here in the Philippines. Kasi we have yung mga old suppliers ng PWR and then yung first MWF belt, yung mga boxing belts.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one. And then I have one na kakilala from Cavite, but he's not into like full on na ginagawa niya talagang business. It's just like side hobby niya lang. Pero ako yung talagang, since I'm a belt mark, kung tawagin nila, nag-deep dive talaga ako. Nag-dive talaga ako sa into business or belt making business. So as far as I know, yeah, maraming belt may mga belt makers dito sa Philippines, pero I think ako lang yung pinaka like active. At the same time, the way belts are made, should be made, is ako lang yung ating gumagawa.
Yeah,
I have a question.
You actually went full tilt on it.
I have a question. So, if you're the only active one, like, who makes yung mga boxing belts dito?
I mean, active, like, how do you describe this? Like a real belt treatment.
Mm-hmm.
If yung sa kanila, napapansin ko, nakikita ko rin siya sa Facebook eh. Parang, it's just like ordinary, typical trophy style.
Okay. Parang prop siya.
If i-ano natin yung parang real belt, like how WWE belts are made, how UFC, how AEW belts are made, I think I'm the only one guy.
Interesting. So, I just want to jump in here and ask, paano mo naman na-decide to like say na ikaw yung magsa-start nitong trend na to sa Pilipinas? Like, why did you feel like it was your responsibility to?
Actually, mas nag-focus ako international eh. Kasi yung belt hobby or like belt community sa international, grabe. Grabe yung market.
Oh, mas may pera sila eh.
Oo, mas may pera. Parang every week, nakakatanggap ako ng orders noon. Like,
wow.
Twice, thrice.
Wow.
So, sobrang lucrative niya. So, yun nga, target ko talaga noon international. And then, nung nagtagal, parang gusto kong yung goal ko naman, iset ko yung goal as dito naman sa Philippines. Like, parang gusto kong makagawa ng championship belt for like, hindi naman for a specific company, pero sa lahat. Like, if you're working on a corporate world or let's say MWF, PWR, FPW, parang gusto ko, yun yung goal ko na makagawa ng belt para sa like promotions, companies, and
right. It's interesting that he says that kasi in the comedy world, we started doing roast battles, one-on-one roast battles, and the winner actually walked away with a championship belt. Now, hindi ko alam kung siya yung gumawa nun. I don't think so because it looks a lot like the old PWR belts. Be honest. Pero it's interesting na may idea din siya, may foresight siya to start making belts for like companies as promotional material. Kasi magandang idea din yun eh.
Yeah.
I don't even know who the supplier of the old PWR belts were. Di ko lang kilala kung basta nakukuha na lang nila yung mga championship belt. But I wanted to go back to something you said kanina in your answer to my question. You said that there were like real belts and then there were like trophy belts. Can you like, pwede mo bang pag-usapan yung science? Because I want to learn. I want to learn the sciencey stuff behind this.
How do you ano ba to? Okay, so if we compare the old trophy style PWR belts, iba yung treatment eh. Like iba yung, for me kasi, if I make a belt, I treat it as a jewelry. I treat it tsaka yung tawag dito, yung let's say sa real belts kasi iba yung materials na ginagamit. Although pwede naman siyang gamitin sa trophy style, pero yung treatment kasi, like kung paano siya i-craft, yung leather,
Right.
Kung paano gawin yung engraving, kung paano mag-set ng stones. Like, if kung nakita nyo in person yung FPW belt, may stones doon. Yung stones na linagay ko doon is cubic zirconia. And then they are polished, mirror polished. Kumbaga, pag tinignan mo yung belt, makikita mo yung reflection mo doon.
Oo nga, nakita ko nga.
Tapos yung leather, malaking impact yung leather kasi hindi siya tinipid, as in handcrafted siya. Like, kung naalala ko lang yung leather na yon, yung FPW belt na yon, it took me 3 hours, 4 hours to craft the leather.
Okay.
And then iba pa yung curing time niya. So, abutin siguro pag yung final assembly, abutin siguro mga let's say 2 days. Yung sa trophy style naman, basically parang meron na silang template eh. Like yung sa ordinary what do you call this? Boxing strap. But may mga template na siya yung nakikita ko, parang may foam padding sa likod ng leather strap.
Yung white.
Tapos
Okay.
yung plates niya is manipis. Tapos grave. So wala masyado siyang pag kinompare mo siya, malaki talaga yung difference.
Right. You mentioned cubic zirconia, and the only reason I know of it is because of the replica big gold belt that I bought years ago. So, yung mga stones that you normally see in designs like the iconic World Heavyweight Championship, yun, that's cubic zirconia. So, I want to go back to the very beginning here, because for a lot of wrestling fans, when we collect stuff, you normally collect t-shirts or maybe action figures, but for you, like right behind you, you've got, 15, 20 championship belts in that display case. So, how did you decide na I'm gonna collect wrestling belts because this is my favorite thing about wrestling? And how much money do you have to start a collection like this?
Medyo mahal yan, hobby na yan.
I actually started, bata pa lang ako since I started watching wrestling, WWE to be specific. Nahook na ako sa mga championship belts. Like big gold, undisputed, spinner, US spinner. Nahook na ako doon. Then, nagkaroon ako ng chance na regaluhan ako ng brother ko ng 2 toy belts, yung Mattel, Jack Specific. Then fast forward, I think around 2010-ish, meron na kaming computer noon, so nakakapag-computer na ako, nakakapag-search na ako ng YouTube, tinitingnan ko yung mga, like ano bang meron sa wrestling. And then napunta ako sa mga unboxing videos or like belt reviews ng mga championship belts. So nahook ako. Fast forward to 2017, I think doon ako nag-start mag-purchase ng sarili kong belt. So,
estudyante ka pa nun or may trabaho ka na?
College pa ako nun, nag-aaral pa ako nun.
Oh, and boy, you're so young.
Yeah. Actually, 2016 dapat graduate na ako, pero na-extend ako eh. So, 2017 doon ako nag-start mag-purchase ng sarili kong belt, and then gamit lang yung allowance ko. So, 300 pesos lang yung baon ko a day. Tinatago ko yung 200. Yung 100, yun yung pinaka-baon ko. Tapos nagbabaon ako ng rice, ng meals. Tapos yung 100, yun yung pamasahe ko back and forth to school. So, yun. Kinontinue ko lang yung routine na yun until like 2020. I think I have like 4 belts na that time, around 2020. Then nagbakasyon ako. Pagkabalik ko dito sa Pilipinas, sabi ko, nag-decide ako talaga na I'll do belt making. So nag-start ako sa leather strap. I had a chance to chat the leather crafter from Wildcat Championship belts. Ito yung gumagawa WWE Championship, yung current supplier nila. So I had a chance na makausap ko siya and then ask about tips and advices about leather crafting. And sobrang welcoming naman niya. Binigyan niya ako ng tips, binigyan niya ako ng advices. Binigay niya sa akin yung tamang tools on how to para dun sa mismong leather crafting.
Teka lang, Alvin, how do you even get in contact with the people from Wildcat?
I follow paano ba to? Pino-follow ko kasi yung leather crafter nun. So parang meron siyang sariling page. And then I was aware na siya yung nasa behind Wildcat. Yung leather supplier ng Wildcat, yung leather crafter ng Wildcat. So I was aware na siya yung nagka-craft kasi based on how he based dun sa mga posts niya and then yung leather style niya. So ayun. So nagkaroon nga ako ng chance na makausap siya a chat. I think sa Instagram pa nga yun eh. So yun, fast forward to like, I think, grabe kasi hindi biro yung gantong trabaho dahil ang dami kong perang nawaldas.
Right.
Can you give us a ballpark just to make it realistic for people? Can you give us a ballpark figure?
Yun muna.
Figure, siguro yung starting point ko, let's say 20.
Okay.
20,000.
Tapos?
And kasi bibili ako ng tools and then from USA, from Japan, papa-ship ko dito. Yung tools na yun, hindi siya biro, like hindi siya isang yung leather stamp, yung design sa strap, hindi lang isa kailangan mo doon. Parang at least ang minimum mo doon is 5. Max na yung 10. 10 stamp. Wala ako dito nasa labas. Pero yun nga, mahal siya kasi yung leather strap pa, trial and error siya eh.
Right.
Gawa ng template. Pag leather craft ka, kamali ka lang, scrap na yung leather strap. So wala na yun. So magta-try ulit ako. Hanggang sa na-master ko na siya like 2 months. Yeah, 2 months. Doon ako na doon ko nasabi sa sarili ko na yeah, I can do it na kasi meron din akong kaibigan kasi na curious na parang bro, bakit baka pwede mong baka pwede mong i-re-leather yung shop replica. Yeah, right. Yeah. So doon ako nagkaroon ng parang may nagtiwala sa akin, so kailangan magawa ko to ng perfect. Magawa ko to ng like ako mismo masasatisfy.
Yeah.
So yun.
So jumping in here, did you have, diba, nabanggit mo yung tools and talking to the leather crafter of Wildcat belts, did you have a crafting background before you started this? Like, nag-work ka na ba with leather nun? Or?
Wala. Pero I binge watch bunch of leather videos. Leather belt making videos. So, hindi na siya bago sa akin. Like, okay, I have to do this. Ganito, ganyan.
Right.
So, meron ako.
Sorry, go ahead. Go.
Pero nagkakamali pa rin ako actually hanggang ngayon nagkakamali pa rin ako. Pero, yun talaga I think, pagka-perfectionist in a way. Kasi, ako myself, collector ako So, I want perfect. Not perfect, but I want a decent work na ma-receive ko as a collector. So, as a leather crafter, yun din yung parang goal ko para sa client ko.
Right.
I've got a couple of questions here, Alvin. The first being, since sabi mo nga wala kang experience with leather crafting before, now do you have like a studio at home where you do all of this work? And the second is, do you have a day job? Because this sounds very time-consuming.
I was about to ask ano yung funding niya.
Balik tayo dun sa crafting. Wala akong leather craft experience, pero multimedia arts graduate kasi ako. So, I make like templates. I can make templates out of like digital Illustrator. So doon ko pinasok yung pagiging graphic designer ko.
Okay.
So, ayun, nakatulong yung course ko na yun sa leathercraft and also designing belts. Pagdating naman sa studio, wala, dito lang ako sa bahay. Yung labas ko is terrace. Yung labas ng kwarto ko is terrace. So doon ako gumagawa. Minsan sa sala namin sa baba, doon ako gumagawa. Doon naiinis na yung mother ko minsan kasi pero wala, yun yung bread and butter ko.
Oh, that's what pays the bills. May ambag ka naman siguro sa bahay, di ba?
Yeah, dude. I mean, so is this your full-time job now? Is this what you do?
Yeah. No, in a way. Kasi tinutulungan ko yung mother ko sa grocery store namin eh. So,
right.
If I have like extra hour to work on belts, yun yung ginagawa ko. Yung sa grocery namin, hindi naman ako sumasahod. Pero, like, at least tulong ko na sa magulang ko kasi iniwan ko yung mother ko ng maaga. He passed away last 2021. So, lahat ng responsibility niya, like, grocery, sa akin na napunta. So, ako yung umaalalay sa mother ko ngayon.
Right.
So, you mentioned earlier na you had to put in a lot of money kasi nga you came into this endeavor, into this business na beginner ka, natututo ka talaga, di ba? So, in terms of capital, like, gaano kalaking pera yung kailangan mo? Kasi I doubt it's just yung 20,000 that you mentioned earlier, di ba? For a business like this.
Capital. Ito na lang. Yung, before ako mag full-time sa belts, I worked with Mont Nissen, graphic artist.
Mm-hmm.
So, yung salary ko doon, inipon ko lang.
Okay.
Aside from yung savings ko.
Yeah.
From my allowance nung college.
Damn.
So yun yung hindi ko na maalala kung magkano yung naging capital ko, pero every time na like may kailangan ako, pinibili ko na siya. Papatsa ba?
Okay.
Matipid to si Alvin.
Ko na binilang yung kung magkano yung nagastos ko.
Right.
Well, kung makikita mo naman dito, parang ito na yung kinalabasan.
May question ako. You spent all your money without much experience. Did you ever consider na, okay, you might not have been good at making belts, tapos you spent all that money for...
diba? Nag-self-doubt ka ba? Did you like want to quit before you even got able?
May mga ganong times eh. Pero naalala ko yung prof ko ng college. Sinabi niya sa akin, take the risk. Kasi nung college ako, I was training na with MWF.
Okay.
18. Then, ginajuggle ko between ACADS. Yung ACADS ko, like thesis, exhibit, tsaka portfolio at the same time. With wrestling. So, feeling ko na nadala ko yun, na i-take ko yung risk. So, yun nga, blessed naman ako and I'm so happy and lucky na kahit papano is I think nakatulong din yung pagiging belt nerd ko eh.
Mm-hmm.
Nakatulong siya kasi like I already set my standard na.
Right.
Before crafting the strap or the belt. So meron akong na-set na standard. Pag hindi ko siya na-meet, uulitin ko.
Yeah.
Ako, I have a question lang, sorry, with regards to the FPW Championship. Was this the first championship that you made from scratch?
No.
No, okay. So ano yung first championship na ginawa mo from scratch?
Actually a bootleg belt. So, comes with a logo, WWF, WWE, pero private collector naman siya. So, ayun, yun yung first. Kasi sabay niya in order.
So basically, kinopia mo lang yung totoong belt.
Tapos ginawa from scratch.
Yeah.
Damn. That's impressive and also low-key illegal, but impressive.
Yeah. That's very impressive. No doubt. Very impressive.
I have another question about yung FPW Championship belt. Yung plates, we were talking about this earlier. Yung plates was not like the plates that we had before in either MWF or PWR. So, Saan galing yun? Sino gumawa nun? Because it's, I have to admit, it's really good.
Yeah, thanks. Dito mismo.
Okay, so may shop na pinagawa mo. Okay.
Pina-fabricate mo siya elsewhere?
Pero due to hazard, kasi hazmat, I have asthma din kasi.
Okay.
Okay.
Pina-engrave ko lang siya and then I do the entire thing, curving the plate. Not sure if you noticed yung curve ng plate.
May curvature siya, napansin ko.
Curve siya.
Damn.
Like, naalala ko noon, kachat ko yung kaibigan ko na nag-ano sa akin na gumawa ng FPW belt. Which is also a belt mark. His name is Duke. Kachat ko siya while curving the plates. Nasira yung curving machine, curve roller ko. Yung handle kasi siya matigas eh.
Yeah. Bakal yun.
Sweating all over my body. I-curve ko yung plates. Kasi sobrang kapal nung plates.
So kasalanan pala ni Duke na nagkamali ka.
Ano yung bakal ng plate?
Brass.
Brass. I knew it was brass. Okay.
It's good quality.
It is really good quality. Yeah. I will.
They opted for like entry level championship belt.
Yeah.
So yung pinaka like best entry level na nagawa ko.
Okay. Alvin, you mentioned earlier that you've been at this for a few years, but I just want to pin down the exact year when you started making belts your actual business. So, when was that?
2020, pandemic.
Okay, so pandemic na. Because the reason I ask this is right around end of 2019 or early 2020 when MSG All Belts happened, I was looking for a belt supplier to make a custom Mr. C championship para lahat kami may championship. Okay. So you weren't around yet at the time. Because I was talking to like suppliers in freaking Pakistan to get a championship made. So if you were already around, I would have kicked myself for not going to you first.
I thought he was. Kasi finalo ako ni Figure 4 eh. So at around that time, di ba? Active ka na nun yata? Or no?
Baka collecting pa lang.
Active na ako collecting.
Okay.
Collecting.
Okay.
Pero since busy pa ako nun kasi graduating ako nun.
Okay.
So collector-wise, active na ako nun.
Right. Pero hindi ka pa nag-level up to an actual creator.
Hindi ako nag-level up nun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first international client you got and which company was it? Kasi sabi mo, your first clients were from abroad, diba? So from which country, which company, what type of championship was it? And sino yung nag-dictate ng rate nun? Was it them who said na may budget kami or did you say na this is how much it's gonna set you back?
Private collector lang naman. Hindi naman siya yung
okay.
Ito yung bootleg.
Promotion. Yeah.
Promotion. Pero ito yung pinaka-first promotional na championship belt na nagawa ko. FPW.
Oh, okay.
Wow. So mostly private collectors yung clients.
Yeah, private collectors.
Oo nga pala, yeah. I noticed yung mga comments din.
So a lot of your business nakasalalay sa di ba? Refurbishing of belts. Tama ba ako? Like papalitan ng leather strap. Yung papalitan yung leather strap or aayusin yung belt. It's a lot.
Not refurbish wise, but kasi yung mga ibang collectors kasi sobrang hardcore.
Right.
They want the replica belt to be like yung real feel. Kasi yung sa real TV belts is leather strap. Yung strap nun is fluffy. Fluffy. Yung nagbe-bend siya. Unlike yung sa mga shop replica strap, sobrang stiff. Siya nagbe-bend.
Yes.
So yun yung parang sa mga hardcore collectors, yun talaga yung pinaka like first agenda.
Wow, I didn't even know that.
Napansin ko lang siya actually when I got my big gold belt replica. I'm like, bakit hindi siya as bendy as
hindi natin nasusuot ng maayos.
Very stiff.
Yes. So now we know.
Tumalino
tayo ng slight tonight. Ito Alvin, let's say may nakikinig na private collector who hasn't met you yet, hasn't engaged with Figure 4.
Or si Rowan.
or si Rowan, who is a belt collector in his own right. How much money should they set aside before sila mga has na i-message ka?
Is it the same? Sorry, is it the same as yung prices sa WWE shop?
Which one?
Yung kunyari, yung tinatanong ni Stan, like how much money should you set aside? Is it
Or like
roughly
a
the same?
custom bootleg.
Is it roughly the same as how much they sell it for WWE Shop and other stores?
Okay. So if we go for a bootleg belt, let's say Intercontinental WWF Bret Hart belt.
Yeah.
Right.
You have options naman if you go for WWE Shop.
For the plates.
For the plates, for the actual replica. Papare-leather mo sa akin. The re-leathering price is ngayon nasa less than 15K.
Okay.
Handcrafted leather. Pero pag ang option mo is pag kino-consider mo talaga na like kasi yung sa current WWE Shop, WWE Legends logo kung tawagin, some collectors wanted that WWF for accuracy. Mga ganun eh. So pag mga ganun, like if you want to go a bootleg WWF Intercontinental, maglalaro yan around 50-60K.
Damn.
Wow.
Because yung material nun, the treatment itself is the same as like the WWE ones, the ring used ones.
Yeah.
So
and you're sourcing all of the materials yourself pa.
Yeah.
How long does it take from when you process an order to the championship belt actually being finished?
If I have like if meron akong supply ready, I think 2 months.
Okay. So kunwari nag-place ako ng order ngayon, we're recording May 5, edi July 5 ko i-expect na may actual championship.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Gusto lang sabihin, saludo ako kay Boss Tim ng. grabe yung quotation niyan.
Yeah, for sure.
Actually nga, nagulat. Buti nga nabigyan ko ng justice. I think Red also loved the belt. Nung una, I think na naamoy ko na parang hesitated pa siya.
Yeah. So ako, gusto ko lang din sorry, we keep going back to this one belt. I'm sorry, but it's the only belt.
Yeah, it's the only belt. It's fine. Yeah.
I have a point of reference for paano yung design process nun? Because I know that you and si Kendrick, this was the graphic designer behind the belt.
Yeah.
Paano kayo nag-start? Did you collaborate on it? Gumawa lang ba siya ng design? Tapos ginaya mo? Or how did that go about?
Okay. I think the day, if I remember, the day na nag-meet kami ni Red, after nun, gumawa na siya ng group chat sa Facebook with Ken, the FPW belt designer, and then Duke, my friend, who also works for FPW. Not Ortega, Duke David.
Okay.
So gumawa siya ng group chat, and then they were still finalizing the design. So, hindi ko alam na ginawa pala ni Ken is sa Photoshop. Ginawa niya through Photoshop. As much as possible, I want it made through
Illustrator.
So, meron ng final design, plinot na nila, sinend nila sa akin. Nung tinanong ko na si Ken kung pwede niya ba sa akin masend yung PDF file tsaka yung black and white negative tawag dito, yung black and white na artwork.
Right.
Sabi niya wala siya, gagawin niya pa lang daw. Kasi nga gamit niya is Photoshop. Sabi ko, hala, meron kaming fina-follow na schedule, like kailangan on the day na to ma-start na. Kasi meron akong like I think 8 weeks lang ata yung binigay ko sa kanilang time frame which is 2 months. So kailangan on the day na to mag-start na. I think sinabi ni Ken mabibigay niya pa next week kasi kailangan niya i-create yung art. So I took the initiative to copy, to replicate the artwork sa Illustrator na. So yung final art, I did some tweaks, I did some changes, minor sa FPW belt. So yun nga, yung final artwork sa akin na nanggaling. If you notice, I put Ken's name and then my name sa naka-engrave siya sa belt sa main
Right.
plate.
Wow.
It's a 3.
Parang sign, signature.
Yeah, signature.
Okay.
So, ayun. After nun, engraving, cutting, and then polished. Lagyan na ng bolts. Yun na. Started with the leather. And then yung final output nga, yun nga. On the day na mismo, nung show, before show, minute ko si Red to turn over the belt. So, he was happy. He was impressed. I think hindi niya rin in-expect na ganun pala yung labasan. Pero sa akin, for me, parang accomplishment siya. Parang relief then for me.
Yeah, congrats, man. I mean, you got that bag and you secured yourself a place in wrestling history in the country, diba? So that's nothing to scoff at. Segueing off of that, though, you're also involved in the local scene as an aspiring wrestler. And I first became aware of your journey when you got featured in the Jessica Soho, yung Kapuso Mo Jessica Soho episode on MWF. So how did it come to be of all the trainees? Eyewitness. Sorry, thank you. Yeah, the Eyewitness docu. So, how did it come to be of all the trainees ng MWF, ikaw yung napili?
Hindi ko rin alam eh. I was there, usual training. Hindi ko in-expect na, siguro kasi dahil palagi ako napapagalitan ni Coach Fabs. So, I think yun yung nag-caught ng attention kay Miss Cara David. So, kasi, actually, yun nga iniiwasan ko. Sabi ko, sana hindi ako, every time, pumunta ako ng training. Sana hindi ako mapagalitan. Sana hindi ako sabaw. So, ayun, I was like, doing yung mga pinapagawang drills, usual training. And then, after like, nung nag-break na, the production team and Miss Cara approached me na kung pwede ba daw ako ma-interview.
Kasi pinagalitan ka?
Hindi ko rin sure. Sige, ipapaalam ko muna kay Coach Fab, sabi ko. So, akala ko ipapaalam ko pa lang sana and then parang nagse-set up na sila. Bigla na lang nila ako hinatak and then grabe, wala akong masabi. Literal na parang blanco ako. Kasi hindi ko na-expect na yun nga, na may interview ako, ganito ganyan. And then I think they did a background check and then tinanong nila.
They went to your house, diba? Yung collection mo nakita sa sa docu eh.
Yun nga, tinatanong kung may collection daw ba ako regarding wrestling. Sabi ko, meron po akong belts, meron po akong statues and stuff like that. So, ayun, sabi nila, sige po, pupunta kami tomorrow, pupunta kami sa bahay niyo to interview pa, to check your stuff, wrestling stuff. So yun, doon na nag-end. As in, hindi ko talaga in-expect na na ma-interview ako. So, sabi ko sa utol ko nung pauwi na ako, Kuya, in-interview ako ni Cara David. Ganto ganyan. So, ayun. Great opportunity rin for me na ma-expose din sa ganong klaseng what do you call this?
Ganong show, ganong documentary.
Documentary.
Sayang, hindi mo lang na-plug yung business.
Yeah. May GMA Championship belt na sana ngayon.
Sayang yun, missed opportunity, no?
So wait lang, balik tayo din sa natatakot ka kay Coach Fabs, Fabio Makisig, you're talking about. Ano yung result nun? Mas pinagalitan ka ba niya? Or hindi naman?
Was they okay with it? I mean, siguro kasi ang pangit ko during training, ayaw niya kasi ng pangit. Like, you don't want to injure someone.
Yeah.
Right.
So, he's a perfectionist din eh.
I mean, after na, kaya di ba sabi mo, papaalam mo pa yung interview tapos wala ka na magawa.
Hindi naman.
Wala namang unwanted consequences.
No, to be fair naman, they like any exposure that they can get.
Right.
So, whatever it is, it's a win.
Yeah,
Basta
fair naman.
ma-expose yung ano.
I'd also like to think he's not gonna get taken to wrestler's court.
Even though you said na pinapagalitan ka ni Fabs, I called your first match. You were called up to work the Chili Willy Wrestling Cup tournament. That's the full name. And you were pretty good, huh? It was a pretty solid outing for you. May shoot background ka ba? Kasi it felt like merong konti.
Kasi 2018 ako nag-start mag-tryouts sa MPF. So, yung focus ng training ni Coach Fabs noon is more on shoot style.
Yun.
So, I think yun yung parang naging basis ko. Kabatch ko si Nigel.
So, you've been at it a while.
Yeah, yes.
Nag-stop lang ako nung 2019 to 2020 kasi nga graduating ako noon. Internship and then graduating. So, I had to stop. Nung pabalik na ako nung March, pandemic happened. So, hindi ako nakabalik ulit sa training. And then, I think, sobrang busy ko na noon around 2020 to 2021, 2022. Dahil sa belt making. And then, every time naman may show sila, pumupunta ako to support them and then they try to invite me na bumalik na sa training. So, nung November, bumalik na ako.
Okay, may question ako. You were at this for a while, pero how and why did you start training? Kasi this happened, your training to become a wrestler happened before your belt making business, diba? And hobby. So, paano nangyari yan? Ano yung dream mo dapat talaga?
Ang dami ko kasing gustong gawin ako eh. Parang, nung dati kasi dancer talaga ako.
Wow. Did not expect that.
Ang dami ko talagang sinasalihan na extracurricular activities. So, yun, dancer ako. Kaya hindi kami bago sa isa't isa ni Nigel. Kasi we used to like see each other every time. Minsan pag may show or like competition, nakikita namin yung isa't isa. Though, naging mas magkakilala kami noon nung nag-tryouts na kami sa MWF.
Schoolmates ba kayo ni Nigel?
No.
Okay.
Yung fellow groupmate niya, coach namin.
Okay.
Yeah. Ano ba?
So, yeah.
Marami kasi akong gustong gawin, marami akong gustong i-try. So parang hindi ko nililimit yung sarili ko sa isang bagay. Like jack of all trades. Like I do video, I do photo, I do like graphics, I do dancing, I do wrestling. So hindi ko alam eh. Parang ine-enjoy ko lang yung kung ano yung face ko like sa specific time na to. Parang halimbawa, let's say wrestling. Focus ako dito. Tapos, on the next, focus ako dito sa mga I can't explain.
I get you.
No,
but I don't
gets ko naman. Which leads me to my question. Dahil ang dami mong artistic endeavors, shall we say. You're a graphic designer, you're a belt maker, you're a dancer, you're a wrestler. Do you feel like you're able to express yourself artistically in the wrestling? Like, na-feel mo ba na you're able to express yourself as a wrestler? Or wala ka pa sa point doon?
Good question. May mga self-doubts. I'm not sure if I was gonna say Sandata, but Romeo, like...
I mean, the jig has been up for years. So.
Medyo open secret na siya.
Hindi ko alam kung... mostly self-doubts eh. Kasi hindi ko sure kung pagpapatuloy ko ba. Kung... I mean, nararamdaman ko yung happy eh. Yung saya. Kasi it's a childhood dream. Like lahat naman tayo siguro childhood dream yung pro wrestling, to be a wrestler. For me, oo, masaya ako. Pero hindi talaga naiiwasan yung self-doubts. Pero ano lang yan eh, parang demons mo lang yan eh. You go there 100% training or like may show kung ano man yung like ego na nasa utak mo, like nasa isip mo, nasa tabi mo, like get rid of it, like enjoy. Sa ngayon hindi masyado pang maaga kasi for me like masyado pang maaga, hindi ko pa masyado napapakita yung like full Pablo Salvacion gimmick or character.
But
so, yeah.
Sorry, no. Gusto ko lang tanongin kasi you said marami nga. But what is really your main dream? Was it to be like a bona fide pro wrestler tapos syempre sana one day successful, or okay ka rin ba as like a really respected belt maker from the Philippines?
Good question. I think I could be both. Papala rin kung kakayanin ng katawan. Yeah. Why not like take the two kung yung two lang naman yung options eh. So
yeah. Makes a lot of sense, diba? Mapagkakakitaan mo yung belt making and then you get to scratch that childhood dream, diba? That itch to be a wrestler.
Here's like a nice fun fact. Because sorry, that's his up down name. Whatever his real name is.
Yeah, that's
his
wrestler name.
Used to be a costume designer.
Yeah.
Used to be a costume designer. And then started making costumes for other superstars and his wife, of course. And then naging costume designer na siya sa WWE. So parang he used to be a wrestler and then a costume designer. Is what I was saying. Yeah. So parang posible din siya sa industriya.
And even if there is no path, you can always make your own, diba?
Yes.
So, you're a young buck yourself. I don't doubt naman na you can figure that out and blaze your own trail if the trail hasn't been laid out for you. But as we begin to wind down here, I want to ask if your involvement in MWF, has it inspired you to conceptualize other championships that you'd like to create alongside the promotion?
And nilapitan ka na ba ng MWF to make a belt?
Yeah, kasi diba, wala pang tag teams, wala pang mid-card, wala pang women's championship.
Yeah. That's a good question kasi they were supposed to come out with a new championship before the pandemic, yung Kampiyon ng Masa. Yeah. And that didn't end up going through as planned. So did they already come to you? Hindi siya masyadong sikreto yung idea ng championship, but did they already go to you for, preliminary talks?
Nandiyan ka na rin lang, diba?
Wala namang official, but Tarek, every time I see Tarek or like sa show, palagi niya akong binubulungan. Kinakamusta niya ako, and then like he wanted I'm not sure if like me to involve making the Kampiyon ng Masa championship belt. He always does that, but I'm open naman if like they official, like if we have a meeting to do this, okay naman ako.
All right. Okay, I have a question for you as a professional and as a member of MWF. Ano ang honest opinion mo about the MWF Pinoy Wrestling Championship belt?
Oh, okay. A lot of hate, pero for me, it's a piece of art. I'm not biased. I think it was Road to Fate 2019. Tinatapos pa yung belt sa parking lot ng
Venice Piazza.
Resorts World.
Yeah.
Oholun was the champ. Sneaking over yung belt, tinatapos pa siya. Sabi ko, kakaiba yung belt. As a belt maker, parang for me, parang yung approach niya, custom-made championship belt. Like, for me, parang nasa tier siya ng eco-friendly championship belt. Then Brian
the hemp title.
The Smoking Skull. Hindi siya traditional made championship belt, pero unique. For me, it's a piece of art. I'd say prop-ish kasi hindi siya jewelry type of championship belt. Maganda siya. Piece of art for me.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Any other questions from you guys about Alvin's wrestling journey or yung kanyang belt making business?
Ito, I wanted to clear something up because you were booked in a match sa Chili Willy Cup nung kasaysayan. Is that your official debut or did they just book you for extra bodies sa tournament?
Official debut. Hindi lang ako na-book nung recent show kasi sabi
okay.
can't commit. Hindi ako makapag-commit sa Republica.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
I had to skip training because business.
Right.
Kailangan kong magnegosyo.
Yeah. Oh, priority nating kumita, syempre.
So, hopefully soon, pabalik na ulit sa training and then.
I was looking for you backstage. I was wondering why
he was there.
Hindi pa tayo nakita. No, I only got to meet Alvin right after the show. So I didn't see him in the locker room at all.
He was taking photos. So.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he meron siya photos sa official account.
Okay. So nag-zone out lang ata ako. This is during the time na I was just trying to calm myself down before everything happened. So I'm just happy we finally got to meet Alvin, that we got to have you on the pod, and that you were able to make us a tiny bit smarter with the knowledge about championship belts that you shared on the pod. So Alvin, maraming salamat.
Thank you.
And before we end, let the people know how they can support your business and be an owner of their very own wrestling championship belt. Where can they find your business, man?
You can check me on Instagram and Facebook at Figure 4 Championship. That's all. Figure 4 Championship. What else? We have a Facebook group. It's a local belt community.
Mm-hmm.
Championship Belt Collectors Philippines. You can search. I think we have like 1,700 members.
Damn!
Wow.
In the pandemic era, syempre kailangan kumayod. I used to do like raffles for championship.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Oh wow!
I saw those for raffles mo.
So hindi siya puro shit posting at memes lang.
Hindi. Like I wanted, the goal there was to have the other guys who can't afford, wasting or like spending like 20,000, 25,000 to whatever. Yun yung goal ko, na magkaroon sila ng chance to have a replica belt. So yun.
Wow.
At that time. And then, anything like if you want to purchase a belt for a certain company or like a certain like website, you can message me. I'm open to help. I'm open to give tips, advices, anything belt related.
Ito, last question. Since you mentioned anything belt related, sabihin natin meron mga magpapakasal at gustong i-rent yung championships mo for one day only.
I knew it.
Possible ba yun?
Asking for a friend.
I was gonna ask the same thing.
I'd rather make mga magpapakasal. Goal ko rin yun, gumawa ng couple championship belts like Mr. and Mrs.
Tag belt.
Wow. Goal na pala
Tama.
Goal
smart.
Pag ako ikakasal, gagawa ko ng ganon.
Ayan pala goal pala niya
Yeah. Pero yung halimbawa,
arkilahin lang, one night only, one night stand, di ba, with the belt.
Ayaw mo ng custom? Baka gusto mo ng custom.
Di mo ipapawalk yung championship mo? Yung collections mo?
Papawalk ang puta. Ayaw mo ng custom personalized na design mo?
Make your own. Instead of a cake topper, have that on top of the cake. Diba?
Wala tayong budget. Kaya nagtatanong tayo kung pwede arkilahin.
Huwag ka na mag-walk out music. Patugtog ka na ng Mr. C dun sa simbahan. And walk out with your own belt, man. Come on.
Meron ako nakikita ganyang posts sa groups namin. Sobrang, what?
It's a thing. People do it.
Yeah.
In the States.
I've seen people come out here with to their reception with championship belts.
Meron na akong nakitang wrestling match gender reveal.
Corny pag yung WWE gamit nila. Mas okay siguro kung custom made.
Custom made.
Sa mga goal ko yan, magkaroon ng project ng Mr. and Mrs. Tag.
Yun.
Manifest natin yan. Let's put that out there in the universe. Maybe some other soon-to-be married couple, not involving me, will cash in on that and make that happen for you. Thank you so much, Alvin. And thank you to everybody who joined us for this special audio-only episode of the Wrestling Podcast. Stick around because in a few days, our next episode featuring the one and only Robbie Eagles from TMDK, from New Japan Pro Wrestling, from PWA will be on your on the Wrestling Podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you very much to the PNA team for all of the work that they do behind the scenes. We really appreciate you, and thank you to every subscriber, patron, listener, viewer out there who enjoys the work that we do. Don't forget to follow us at Wrestling2XPod on Twitter and on TikTok, at Wrestling Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and Spotify. And individually, it's at Chino Supersized, at EML_Meister, at Monday Night Rowan, at Roiswar, and at _Stan C. For Ro Moran and Chino Liao, my name is Stan C, saying stay safe, stay healthy, and don't be a dick. Wrestling Podcast. Out. Bye-bye.
Peace.
The views and opinions expressed by the podcast creators, hosts, and guests do not necessarily reflect the official policy and position of Podcast Network Asia, the hosts of the program, or other programs of the network. Any content provided by the people on the podcast are of their own opinion and are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, individual, or anyone or anything.